We have succeeded to photograph the television image on a moving picture film. Important event that in the future may be intercepted by the television camera and broadcast to all corners of the world may thus be recorded on the film and kept in readiness in moving picture houses for projection at the right time, some minutes or some hours after the event. We hope that this will be one more step to widen our horizon and to make all peoples our neighbors. Mr. Hartley, will you be good enough to explain the difference between our last experiment and the one that you now are going to demonstrate?
Here we have the beginning of a television picture. In this lamp house, we have an ordinary 900-watt incandescent lamp with a reflector and a lens to put the light from this lamp in a brilliant flood on the back of this scanning disc. The light from this lamp house is projected in a brilliant flood on the back of this scanning disc, which is perforated with 48 small holes 3/64 of an inch in diameter, which are arranged in a spiral about the outer edge of the disc. Here you see the break in the spiral, and you'll see as I move the disc around how the holes gradually spiral to the outside. Here we are back to the break again. This disc is driven by a motor down here at the rate of 1,200 revolutions per minute. You see it starting up now. Now we'll stop it again. Now the light from these small holes passes on to the face of the subject being televised and sweeps across them very rapidly, completing a whole painting of the face 20 times a second and remaining on one spot only 1/46,000th of a second. The little beam of light passing through this scanning disc is projected through this lens onto the face of the subject being televised, who stands around here. Now here we have the photoelectric tube box with the attendant amplifiers. Here are 4 7-inch photoelectric tubes with an amplifier for each 2 tubes. This one for these 2 and that one up there for those 2. This is a rear view of the photoelectric tube bank with the cover removed. This is the part that is popularly called the television camera. Here we have 4 electric eyes, or light-sensitive photoelectric tubes, which each pair feeding into a separate amplifier, which feeds through the main amplifier over there in the corner. Through this aperture, the light from the scanning disc passes onto the face of the subject being televised, and from his face the light is reflected back into the fronts of these photoelectric tubes and is converted into an electrical impulse exactly equivalent to the amount of light received. This is a front view of the photoelectric tube bank, of which you saw the back view a few moments ago. These are the 4 photoelectric tubes, or electric eyes. They're covered by a coarse screen for prevention from mechanical injury and by a fine screen for electrical shielding. Through this aperture, the light comes from the scanning disc and passes over the face of the subject being televised. From the face, it is reflected back into these eyes and converted into an exactly corresponding electrical impulse. Here we have the microphone by which the voice is carried to a separate radio channel to accompany the picture when it is projected. Now we'll show you the little spot of light in just a moment, which sweeps across the face of the person. As it passes across, it strikes perhaps on a coat collar and is mostly absorbed. Then if it strikes on a bright part like a shirt collar, it is reflected back into these photoelectric tubes and is converted into an exactly equivalent electrical impulse. This impulse is carried over a wire to the broadcasting station and is sent out just like a radio voice signal. Now you can see the spot of light here. I'll stand in here and perhaps you can see it on my face. There it goes. Now it starts over again, painting the picture across the face of the person. When the disc is driven by the motors up to full speed, this spot of light travels so rapidly that it looks like a continuous flood of light on the screen. Now we will show you the projector where this radio signal from these photoelectric tubes is converted to a television picture again. This is the projector which puts the television image on the screen. The broadcast television signal is received on a special radio receiver and wired to this large amplifier here, which is exactly similar to the powerful amplifiers used in public address systems with loudspeakers. However, in this system, instead of feeding the output of the amplifier into a loudspeaker, it is fed into this special light valve here, which opens and closes exactly in proportion to the electrical signal it receives from the photocells in the transmitting equipment. Now here we have a large arc light similar to the type used in the largest motion picture projectors, which sends out a constant light through this diaphragm into the light valve. As I said, this light valve regulates the quantity of light passing through it to that indicated by the photocells on the transmitter. This light passes on through further into the lens system and onto this scanning disc. This disc is similar to the one in the projector, except that it has large lenses in it instead of the small holes in the other disc, thereby permitting a considerably greater amount of light to pass through it. It is revolved by these two motors at a speed of 1,200 revolutions a minute, exactly the same as the one in the other machine. From this large arc lamp here, a constant beam of very brilliant light is passed through this diaphragm and into this water cell to remove the heat from the light. Then the light goes into this light valve, which causes the steady beam to fluctuate exactly in accordance with the signal it receives from the electric eye in the transmitting equipment. After passing through this cell and being caused to vary in its intensity, it follows on further through this optical system to the back of this scanning disc. This disc is somewhat similar to the one in the transmitting equipment in that it has 48 holes and is revolved at exactly 1,200 revolutions a minute by these two motors here. However, this disc has large lenses in it in place of the small holes in the other disc, so that it permits a great deal more light to pass through it. Now you notice as I turn it more and more rapidly, you can see the spiral begin to move across the field at the back of the disc. This is the scanning disc on the projecting machine. It is somewhat similar to the scanning disc on the transmitting equipment in that it contains 48 holes in a spiral and is driven at exactly 1,200 revolutions a minute. However, as you see, this one has large lenses in it instead of the small holes in the other disc, thereby permitting a great deal more light to pass through. Now you'll notice as I turn the disc that you can see the spiral of lenses moving up the face of the disc and then starting over again. Now I'll turn the motors on and you can see it come up to speed. There you have it running at full speed, 1,200 revolutions per minute. Now from here, the picture goes on out through a projection lens onto the screen and puts a true television image on the screen. For the picture we're going to show you in a few moments, we have succeeded in photographing this image on a motion picture film, and will now show you the first motion picture record of a television image. I am standing before the television camera, ready to have my television image photographed on motion picture film. You are now looking at the first motion picture of a television image that has ever been produced. This picture was recorded and synchronized with sound in the General Electric Company's House of Magic at Schenectady, New York, and was produced on the apparatus at which you have just been looking. We feel that since most people have heard so much about television, they will be glad to see a little bit of its capabilities. Therefore, I am going to do a few things here before the camera that will let you see what television is actually like. First, I'm going to turn my head from side to side, and you will notice a surprising amount of detail. First to the left, then to my right, then up, then down, now to the sides again. Now I'm going to put my right hand before my face, stroking the side of my face and my chin, and brushing my hair back. Now both hands before my face. Now I'm going to show you my teeth and tongue. In this particular instrument, I have rather an advantage over you folks, for you can see me, but I can't see you. Therefore, I can make any faces I desire, and you have no comeback whatsoever. Watch now, first my teeth, then my tongue, now face, and now I think that's enough of those schoolboy tricks. Perhaps now we'll try some chorus girl capers. I'm going to roll my eyes for you, and you will notice that as the pupils of the eyes move around, you will be able to follow them exactly. Watch now, first up, then to the left, the right, now round and round, now a real chorus girl roll, like that. Now I'm going to see if I can borrow a cigarette from someone here, and I'm going to blow a few puffs of smoke for you. I'll blow them in different directions, and you can see which demonstrates the television image most effectively. Just a minute, please. Here we are. See the cigarette? Smoke. Now I think that is about all the standard entertainment we have here before the television camera for you. I hope I've given you a little better idea of television and have provided a few moments of enjoyment for you. Thank you very much.